Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. I'm able to show you all of the new stuff. In this video, we're going to check out all of the new champions, including the fusion heroes, the fusion champs, which are, there's a rare in the mix, there's an epic in the mix, and obviously the main fusion. But in total, there's going to be 8 new champions added in this patch. I've also got access to all of the other things like the gear filtering, like the new blessings, the nerfs, the buffs on champions and bosses, all of that type of stuff. So I'll do that in a separate video, but it will release at the same time. You should check that out once you finish watching this one. Don't forget to sub to this channel as well if you don't. About half of you don't, and I wish that you would. Anyway, let's get into this. So first champion up for grabs. We're going to start with the fusion-related champs. So we've got a rare in Ingrid Twistaff. I would say, like, the Sylvan Watchers is just stacking out with really good rares. You've got the Knots, you've got Turlak, Flannan's good, Margraves is good. Like, this is one of those factions now, but I guess it's because it's the most recent one they added, but it could be filled out with, or at least for faction ones I'm talking, you could definitely get a lot of work done with just the rares. So let's see if Ingrid is the same. I believe the fusion's going to go like this, and I'm just guessing based on what I'm seeing with champions coming into the game. I think you're going to have to collect 16 of Ingrid Twistaff, which means you're going to need a bunch of green pots, green potions before the fusion if you're going to do it, okay? I think you're going to need 16 of him, which then combine into 4 of the epics, which we'll go into in a second, which will then combine into the legendary fusion if you're doing it. I know a few people are saying skip. I'd say still, well, we'll get into it in a minute, but I think it's still a good mid-game legendary, but I don't feel like it's like a must-do fusion type of thing. So let's have a look. A1 here, double hitter. Each hit books up to 30% chance of placing weak boy decreased defense. But don't forget, you can, as of this patch, there's a blessing that will have a chance to turn that into a big boy defense down. So some of these champions might just grow in value for, certainly for faction war type stuff. A2 then gets an AoE hit, fills turn meter by 5% for each leech in the mix. That could end up being like a 25% turn meter fill. I mean, if this hits pretty hard, then this could be a really cool skill, actually. 25% turn meter fill if there's leech out there, and that's on a 3 turn. And then we've got the A3, also books to a 3 turn, attacks all enemies. Before attacking, gives himself weak increase accuracy. And then has got, if it booked up, 75% chance of placing leech. Damn. The fact that he's got 2 AoEs as well makes him a good, like, stun set user, that type of thing for general content. This feels like a really good rare. Accuracy in all battles, 30. And not really good rare. It feels like a decent rare. If these 2 hit for any sort of damage as well, damn. AoE leech, turn meter fill for himself, weak boy defense, accuracy for your team. Feels good to me. Feels like actually like a really decent rare. Especially if his multipliers are half decent. Okay, let's check out the epic then for the fusion, who is a lizard. Don't worry, I've written my notes on the back of a very important document. Right, let's go on the epic. Slixus. Man, that's actually, like, I guess because of the stuff I'm doing with Fateless, I get to appreciate the challenge of visuals, right? And, like, that's a really good lizard face. It's really good. Damn, it's actually very cool. That's a really cool champ. Love it. Crossbow on the back, double daggers. Yeah, good job. Whoever did this one, good job, man. This is super sweet. I love this. So Slixus Strip Hide. Is he actually any good though? 100 speed, decent enough stats, bit low defense, bit low HP, I guess. So he's gonna need to pack a punch. He's an attack-based dude. A1 double hitter, 30% chance each hit of placing a stun for 1 turn. It's pretty decent A1. A2, again, single target, double hitter, books to a 3 turn. Each hit ignores shield, increased defense, and strengthen. Feels like he's going to be an arena type dude. Each hit also heals himself. And then the final ability here is book into a 3 turn. AoE hits before attacking, gives crit rate, crit damage to himself before he does AoE. Bit of an awkward one because this is saying, well, build me with 70% crit rate, but you kind of still want to hit with these, I think. But still, 70% crit rate makes it easier to build a champ. This is the AoE hit, needs to hit hard. And then we've got a passive here, increases his crit damage by 10% every time they kill someone up to 30%. These stacks will not reset upon death. So if he dies and you revive him, he keeps that 30%. I wonder if they reset in between rounds. Like if you go from like one wave to the next wave. If this champion's Blade of Finality, which was that one, is AE2, kills an enemy, the next skill they use ignores 30% defense. So if he goes A2, dead, into A3, you're also ignoring defense. Interesting kit. I mean, ultimately, he's another Void nuker for AoE. You know, like, he's a bit like a Genbo in a sense. Like, he's a damage dealing AoE dude. Trouble is, we've got so many of them now, it's hard to judge, you know, where does he sit? He doesn't have any debuffs. Oh, he does. He's got a stun. He doesn't have any debuffs which are for like PvE as such. So he's really created as a PvP champ. If you are, again, like this fusion feels like it's aimed at people coming up through the game. Like if you are coming up through the game, this guy could be a great nuker for you if this hits hard. So we'll need to test that. But yeah, maybe I'll do. Let me know what you want to see at the end of this video. Do you want to see this guy and like full nuke in my video for tomorrow? Do you want to see someone else that I show? Let me know. But yeah, it seems like it could be interesting actually, but mainly for a straight damage. Okay, let's just quickly check out the actual fusion. I do want to see if Arbiter's had any changes as well. So Incarnate's the fusion. We've got 100 base speed, quite a high base defense, 1487, and it's a defensive-based champ with a high HP pool as well. Okay, the reason why I was interested in that defense number is because you need a decent base to be able to properly scale an ability like this, where you've got a shield proportional to defense. So it is decent. It's whether the kit is good enough for people to really be that fussed. I would say if you are, like I said earlier, like mid-game, this is going to be a massive carry for you in terms of getting through like dungeons, that sort of content. Like a bit like Helicaf was as well for me on my free-to-play. Someone who does a big shield, yeah, someone who does protection and strengthen, really good early game champion into mid game. I'm not sure that this champion gets into any end game teams. So you've got a provoke here, which feels very kind of like Hydra focused, and a chance to counter if Arbiter's around. You've got this AoE chance to remove shield, which is a bit blah, but the removing another random buff is quite cool. And then, and this ability feels like it's aimed at really PvP, this part. Although, yeah, PvP, I think. Then places a shield for 2 turns. This is the best part of the kits for that kind of like dungeon carry, okay? And then this one here, ally protection strength, and this is an amazing clan boss ability. So her kit just feels a bit all over the place to me. She gets accuracy if ally protection is out. So once you've done this ability, you're getting like another 100 odd accuracy, which makes this easier to land. And then she gets resistance if ally protection's out as well. So again, same sort of thing. Also, she takes damage away from Arbiter, and yeah, she takes damage away from Arbiter. If an Arbiter's about to be killed, she takes that kill instead. She dies instead. And when killed, she resets the cooldown of Destiny's Call, which is the revive. Okay, so just want to see if anything's changed on the Arbiter at all. No. So the trouble is, Arbiter's kit, she's like buffing attack-based champs. I don't know if they really synergize that well together. Don't know. I can't see in my head that she's being used together, that these two are being used together. Like this part of a kit, all of this stuff around the revive, it's either going to help you in general content, like if you're coming up through the game, that type of thing, exactly what I said earlier on, or it's going to help you in maybe live arena, but I just feel like such a weird synergy for live arena. I guess it gives you another chance to come back to life in live arena. That's pretty much what it's doing. Does mean that, you know, what is she? Is she a damage dealer? Is she a protector? I guess she's a bit like Valk when it comes to arena. So I don't know. At the moment, without playtesting her yet, her kit feels a bit wonky, but she's probably not going to be trash. She's just going to be mid. Right, let's get on to some of the new legendaries then. So we've got one in Sacred Order, Matthias, the Ball and Chain. Very cool, actually. Actually, I'm interested to see how they animate him. Is he going to be throwing it out? Maybe not, because it's kind of like hooked in. Look at that. Yeah, that's a cool visual again. Look at that. Look at that shield. Raid do shields like insane level. Okay, so he's an HP-based champ. He's got a decent HP pool, not a crazy one. Triple hit A1. Each hit, chance to remove a random buff. Also heals him. AoE A2. Place an extra hit on enemies under no buffs. The extra hit ignores defense. This is an interesting one. Extra hit also heals all allies. Generally, if there's an extra hit mechanic on an HP-based champ, it can do silly damage, especially if he's ignoring defense. So we might have another contender here for a big HP damage dealer. He's then got increased resistance and reflect damage for 2 turns. Also places taunt on this champion. Taunt's quite interesting in Hydra. The rest of his kit's not really. I guess increased resistance could be. Reflect damage is mainly good for Fire Knight. This is decent for Fire Knight as well, having a multi-hit, but the rest of his kit's not really. Don't know. Counterattacks with Darken the Sky when hit while under taunt. That's interesting. So this ability here is going to give your whole team reflect damage, which you can use the blessing to get additional hits into the Fire Knight shield. He'll then retaliate with Darken the Sky and his A1's a triple hitter. So he can get a lot of work done on the Fire Knight shield. That's one part for him. Otherwise, he might just be a straight nuke with this and could be quite an interesting champ. So he's in the pool. He's a new one. So we've got Ogryn Tribe. This is the new faction unity dude. Very colourful fella. Really reminds me of this one of like some of the World of Warcraft days. Again, cool shield. Look at that. Love some of this attention to detail. Very sweet. Okay. HP-based champ. Decent enough stats again. A1's an AoE. Chance of instantly activating any poisons and burns on each enemy. 50% when booked. It's pretty nutty. AoE places poisons and burns. 3-turn cooldown. AoE, this is where it starts to get nuts, right? So before attacking, puts increased accuracy on allies. Then increases the duration of enemy debuffs. And increases the duration of allied debuffs. Allied debuffs? Is that meant to say that? Or meant to say buffs? Also, decreases duration of allied debuffs. Okay, thought it was increases. Okay, so faction unity stuff. Another Ogryn Tribe person on the same team. Your team get increased speed. 2, increases duration of enemy debuffs by 2 turns, which is pretty mental, actually. 3, heals all allies of this champion's max HP. Heals them for additional 2%, stacks up to 50 for every enemy debuff that's got its duration increased, and every ally that's had their duration decreased. So you can get a massive heal off this, potentially. That books to a 3-turn cooldown. We've then got Bone Grinder. Increases each ally's accuracy by 10 for each burn and poison out there, which is going to give you, like, potentially 120 accuracy each. If there's multiple, doesn't do it. So the faction unity stuff. HP burn and poisons placed by allies deal 30% more damage. So a burn is like a 5% of the enemy max HP, is it? I feel like it is. Is it 5 or 10? Poisons is 5, right? What's the burn? Luckily, I've heard of a website that can deal with this type of stuff. Let's have a look. HP burn hits for percentage. Oh, it ticks for 3%. Okay, 3%. Poison's 5, right. So, not 10. What am I saying 10 for? Right. So, deals 30%. So, it's going to deal basically 4, and these are going to deal basically like 7 or so. I mean, it's actually a significant change. If you've got burns and poisons that he's instantly activating as well. This guy could be the best speed farm dude in the game. After, once he's got faction allies going on. So 2 increases the damage dealt by allies by 5% for each burn and poison on a target. For each burn and poison on a target. So if you've got like a burn and, I don't know, 6 poisons out there, it's crazy damage increase. And if there's 3 of them around, burn and poison debuffs placed by allies cannot be removed, stolen, or transferred. That's also potentially a crazy arena stuff. Like, with those new blessings for arena as well. Damn, this guy could be nuts. I think it could be nuts. Increase ally HP and increase ally speed in all battles for Ogryn Tribes on his... Let me just see what else we've got going on here. So who's placing these burns and poisons? That's the question in this faction. Gizmak is in the mix, if you have him. Obviously, it's hard to get. Who else might be in the mix here? Someone like a Shrank could be good. We've got Eurodrim in the mix here as well. Does the faction, and we've got the Brawler, but he's probably not going to be that relevant. But does the faction offer enough else to, bring people in? Got people like Shador. Do we have the people to kind of set it up? Gerda, she's a big poison champ, right? I never use her, but suddenly, is she coming out of the vault? She might be. Don't know, guys. What do you think to this guy? What do you think to this Unity stuff? Is it too much? Is it too much? Right. Let's have a look at the new Void legendary. So we've got, not Skinwalker, where was it? Sylvan Watcher. So we got Yinsensa. Yinsensa Grailbearer. Oh man, this is a cool skin. The green fire. Kind of Storm-esque from X-Men in terms of like some of it, Lots going on. Okay, lots going on. She's got little vials, a little pouch. She's got a weed. Right. She's a support, 110 base speed. AoE decrease attack. Books up to 70%. Wow. The ally with the highest crit damage also joins the attack, attacking the enemy with the lowest HP with their A1. That's a nutty A1. Like, damn. What? A2 places Poison Cloud. What am I reading? Which means that everyone who hits you can only weak hit you unless you got burn on you. This is the first champion that's got this skill, by the way. Places increased speed and 2 continuous heals on a target ally for 2 turns. Oh, so is it a target person? Okay, it's not the whole team, right. Places poison, increased speed, and heal on an ally for 2 turns. It's still nutty, but not as nutty. Also gives them a massive turn meter fill, 50%. And then we've got the A3 here. AoE, drop defense and weaken. Ignores block debuffs. Let's just ignore the stuff in the game. Wow. And then we've got passive. Increases this champion's accuracy by 10 for each buff on each enemy. Whenever an enemy receives a buff, the turn meter is decreased by 10%. Flipping heck. With accuracy in all battles. Okay, she seems absolutely insane. So then the last new champion, we've got the new mythical, who is Nias. Nias the Shadow Thief. Love this bow. Cool looking dude. Bright blue eyes. Looking pumped. And then he flips into the chicken. No, he's a raven, right? Is he a raven or a crow? Maybe a crow. Damn, it looks so sweet. It's such a good visual. The lightning in the eyes. It's actually so damn good. Okay, so he's HP based on this form, and he is attack based on this form. So his base attack 1663, and it flips down. So they've kind of got that bit right. Okay, let's check out the 2 forms then. So the A1 in his base form ignores shield, unkillable, and block damage. Damage is based from HP and attack. That's quite cool on this form in general. Right. A2, AoE. This attack will not trigger counterattacks and ignore shields. Also steals 20% turn meter from each enemy. Cannot be resisted by enemies with more than 50% turn meter. And then the A3 attacks an enemy, deals double damage to bosses. Destroys the target's max HP. Oh, hold on a minute. Destroys the target's max HP and decreases the target's attack, defense, speed, resistance, and accuracy when this champion hits. Does not work against bosses. I was going to say, this can really mess up your abilities, but okay. Against champions. Also increases his own tons of stats by 10% each time this champion decreases enemy stats. And he block revives. There's a lot going on, people. We've then got a passive. Deals 5% more damage for each 10% HP the target loses. And prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive on 1 HP. Then transforms them into their alternate form. So let's check it out. Alternate form. I wonder if he's still on 1 HP when he transforms. Let's see what the passive is first. Increases a bunch of stats for every dead enemy and ally, including bosses and their minions, up to 100%. So basically can double all of his main stats. Also revives 1 random ally with 50% HP and turn meter each time this champion kills someone. So we've got a double hit A1. Each hit heals him. We've got an AoE provoked on the A2. if he's got more than half health. Cannot be resisted if he's got more than 75% HP. If he has got half health or less, places a stun instead. Cannot be resisted. So he needs no accuracy for any of that. Removes all debuffs from himself. Places heals on himself equal to the amount of debuffs removed. Also places counterattack and block damage on this champion. Cannot be stolen or transferred. I mean, there's a lot going on in that kit, right? It's very hard to kill. He's got revives going on as well. He probably hits like an absolute truck. He's got control abilities. I'm not sure. I can't picture in my head right now, like, where is he meant for? Is he an arena champ? Maybe he's an arena champ because of all of this kind of like stealing away stats and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, guys. Naias the Shadow Thief is the last one in the mix. Let me know what you think, and let me know which of the champions you're most interested in seeing like a follow-up video on. I've been hellHades. Don't forget to check out the other video on the new stuff in the game. Drop in right now, and I'll see you soon.